Woo! All right, y'all. And I'm back just like that. Episode 13 of the Campbell Project. I'm happy to have y'all here with me today. Um, I did say this episode number 13 of the Campbell Project. Anyways, listen. I know I got to do my house cleaning. If you want to subscribe, YouTube, the Campbellton Project. Jay, house cleaning, I'm about to knock that out. Facebook, y'all hit me up, add me. J Dave. Instagram, Big Twin 871. I think that's also my TikTok. If y'all want to hit me up on TikTok, I believe it is Big Twin 871 also. If you want to show love, if you want to advertise, you want to support, hit me up on Cash App, JDB 871. If you ain't got no money, you still want to advertise, hit me up anyway. It ain't nothing. I will show love. So let's get into it. Episode number 13. I've been missing for a while. Just figuratively speaking. I want nobody to be like, oh my gosh, she got abducted. But no, just been chilling, doing a lot of Christmas shopping, chilling with the fam, trying not to work too hard, but I love my job. So I've been doing a little extra work. But still overall getting ready for the holidays. Shout out to my boy Reeks. What's happening? Out there in Germany or Poland, one of them. He just went to one of them. But shout out to him wherever he is. Love you, boy. That's my brother, Maurice. Um, Another thing, what else I was gonna mention? I can't remember. That's why I take notes because if I don't, I'll be all over the place. But we can go ahead and get into it though, man. I see that Daniel Penny got off for the manslaughter charge he was facing against I cannot remember the victim's name, but not to harp on that. But something else I noticed as I listened to the many different podcasts or just a quick 2 or 3 minute post on YouTube that you can do, or even TikTok. I find a lot of black people, or rather, I hear a lot of black people saying, "Oh, we used to people acting out, whether it be on public transportation, uh, inside of a business or school. We used to this type of weird stuff happening to us. I don't like that narrative. You know, who am I? But I don't like that. It's pretty much saying, hey, this stuff is supposed to happen to us. I don't like hearing stuff like that. I want black people because I'm black. I can't speak for other groups, so I'm not trying to just look out for black people. I can't speak for nobody else. But I want us to get used to having the better things in life and not just have bad scenarios, bad situations, bad events be our norm. I want us to look at things that happen in society that's negative, the negative ones that people choose to do. I want them to look at that and be like, what the hell? You know, I don't want that to be our norm. I don't want that to be our everyday where we just look at something and say, another day, and just going on about your business. Because whether you know it or not, you're going to pass it down to your offspring, and it'll be their norm. They'll pass it on to their kids, and that'll be their norm. So we got to work on those scenarios where you have people acting out in public, whether you're making threats or not, just being that nuisance. You know the way it makes you feel when you're somewhere in public and somebody's just making you just sit with your legs close to each other. You uncomfortable. We got to get out of that. It's almost the same thing when I watch, like, even when I listen to Charleston White. Shout out Charleston White. He always talks about his uncles and how he saw a lot of them going to jail and how to him that became what he was supposed to do. Pretty much a rite of passage, if you will, because some people, especially gang members, they'll see those loved ones consistently going to jail, and their mindset will adopt that same narrative of going to jail, getting out. He came out. He seems fine. He's still himself. He didn't die. So I should have aspirations to also follow his judicial history, if you will, and go to jail also. Until you go to jail and you sit in there and you realize, yeah, I'm not made for this, but I want better for society in general. Okay, but as a black person, that's the point of view I most likely will speak about. So, because kids are very influential, as you know. Like for instance, my son, shout out Rye, I say for real a lot, and now my 3 year old, he's starting to say for real a lot. He's like, "Daddy, I love you. I love you too, Rye." No, for real, Daddy. I'm like, what is up with this kid? I know you love me for real. So, but shout out to Rye. So, but yeah, overall, let's change our future and not have negative events be our norm. Okay, we're better than that. Um, but yeah, shout out to the Morbid podcast with Ash and Elena. I like that podcast. Very insightful. But Ash and Elena, they do this thing on their podcast, and I know I'm going off the deep end. They do this thing on the podcast where they give a trigger warning. And if y'all don't know, a trigger warning is pretty much pretty much the pretty much the forewarning before you tell or show something that somebody might deem grotesque or serious, or everybody doesn't need to see, or you have that ability to make a decision if you want to hear or see what they're about to display or play. And I'm like, why are they giving a trigger warning on a show called, on a podcast, an audio podcast called Morbid? That should be a big enough trigger warning in itself, right? Like if I've never heard the podcast, if I never heard of the podcast Morbid, and I'm scrolling through my podcast and I'm looking for a podcast and I say Morbid, I hope they have trigger. No, the show is called Morbid, ladies. And also, they were talking about something that happened in Gwinnett County. Is Gwinnett County not Gwinnett? I think that's how most people pronounce it that never heard of Gwinnett County. But yeah, it's Gwinnett, not Gwinnett. They were talking about the dentist that killed his wife and I believe his first wife or something. He killed both of them, tried to make it look like suicides. But that was an interesting one. I cannot think. Bart Corbin, that's his name. I think he got life. I don't know what prison he's in, but yeah. So shout out to Ash, shout out Elena with Morbid Podcast. Also, PSA, man, PSA. People driving. Listen, I think once you reach a certain age, you gonna have to get a scooter or something, a moped. Cause man, I was driving beside one lady and she was just bouncing inside of the lane from line to line like a damn ping pong ball. And I'm just praying, please don't let this lady hit me. So I had to get out her way and sped up and went on about my business. It reminds me of the people when you're in the car with some. You ever be in the car with people or the driver rather, and they're like, "Hit me, I need a new car." And you're like, "Damn." You want to just hit him, tap him on the shoulder, like, "Bro, you know you can die in a car accident, right?" Like, geez, I don't need a new car that bad where I would risk my health, my life, my ability to walk. You know, not just for no Jetta or damn Acura, whatever motherfuckers driving these days. But As you get older, I do feel like as you get older, your car is like a suit. You have to get a car or a suit that fits you, you know, not just some big ass vehicle because whatever I mean, unless you got a lot of kids or people you got to transport, but you got to get something that fits you, fits your height, something that fits your health and your age. Because a lot of women, they want a big ass car for no reason, and they can't control it. They can't bag up. They got to have somebody get out and direct them into the parking spot. So that's something we do gotta y'all do gotta figure out. It's mainly the ladies. Shout out to the ladies, but it be y'all driving all bad and shit. About to run over shit and running into businesses and shit. Anyways, I was looking at another interview. I watch a lot of YouTube because I like to hear people point of views on situations. I like to see where people are coming from, and I like to know what sets them off, what ticks them off. I like to know if they're reading. I like to, especially celebrities. Like if I looked at your show, hold on, let me hit the T real quick. Like if I grew up watching your show, I like to kind of get to know you and meet you through interviews. That's one of the beneficial aspects of watching an interview, or it could be detrimental if you come off as you can't articulate. You just a weird person, and I'm weird, so I mean weird like almost deviant weird. But and not for me, but saying I would call somebody weird that's kind of deviant, but the normal weird, like to yourself, like whatever. But I was looking at Jaleel White, and if you guys don't know who Jaleel White is, Steve Urkel. He played Steve Urkel on the show Family Matters. A great show, one of the top 10 shows to me. Jaleel is top 10 for me. Probably even top 5. I put it up in top 5. But Jaleel was being interviewed, and and I know it's kind of old. Maybe what early this month it probably came out. I can't remember. I don't care to remember either. But he was pretty much talking about how his show Family Matters, a show he was not even supposed to have that pretty much main character role on. I think it was just supposed to be a few episodes or something, but he finessed that into the show essentially being about him. But yeah, he was speaking about how Family Matters was not that popular with black people. And he also talked about how anybody that wore glasses was called his character's name, Steve Urkel. And I started to think about it after I laughed at him. I started to think, okay, just because somebody's black, they don't have to watch your show. Nobody owes you their time and their mind because y'all got the same color. Okay? Nobody has to watch your show because we're both black. I used to watch Gilligan's Island and had never ever been on a boat, never had ever been on an island. Okay? And then I started to think when he talked about people that wore glasses being called Steve Urkel. Listen, y'all, trigger warning. It's not really a trigger warning, but listen, when you're part of the black community, you're going to get your ass roasted. Point blank, period. As you get older, you have to learn how to let it go. Some of y'all are holding on to being roasted forever. Let it go. It's like when people say, oh, he became a cop because he used to be bullied. What the hell does being bullied in middle school, like, what am I going to go live by the person that bullied me and hope that I get a call to his or her house? Hope that I pull him over? So, Jaleel, let it go, man. I don't know if you got roast. Does Jaleel wear glasses? You know what I think it is? I think people see him out. I'm willing to bet this is what it is. People see him out and they still call him Urkel. That has to be it. That has to be it. Or either his career didn't go the way he wanted it to go. It didn't turn out like a Will Smith where you play a role and people know you for other roles. They're not just gonna say, "Oh, well." Some people might just say, "Oh shit, Fresh Prince," even though that's his name, it's his rap name, or what? It's not a bad name; it's a cool name. So for him, it probably pains him when he's out. He's probably out with his lady, eating. And some big dude go, "Hey, what's up, Urkel? I used to love your show," and he embarrassed him in front of his girl. He done tried to punk him or something. He had to get tough and almost get beat up or something. But Jaleel, I love you, bro. I still watch Family Matter to this day. So in my mind, if I saw you out, I would call you Jaleel because I respect you enough. What I would back to me what I'm saying, get to know somebody through interviews, get to know somebody through listening to them speak. So I wouldn't disrespect anybody like that because you never know how somebody will respond. You don't get beat up by Steve Urkel. But no, shout out to Jaleel White, man. We love you, man. Tell Laura I said what up. Um, uh, but shout out to this kind of leads into the next area I want to talk about, which is college football player Travis Hunter, and his situation with his girlfriend. Uh, a lot of people now I don't know Travis, I don't know his girlfriend, I don't watch them. It's just college football. Hopefully that'll lead to a great, long, substantial NFL career for Mr. Hunter. But a lot of people believe that his girlfriend might be a gold digger. So I watched, I don't know if it was an interview, but something online where she was talking about, oh, he wasn't my type. I was gonna friend zone him and all this stuff. It's two ways to look at that. Could she get to know him and see, oh man, this might be a great football player, make millions of dollars. I can have an easy life. Or is it the other side of the ball, or the pillow rather, where somebody grows on you? They grow on you. You're around them. They texting you. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's in college. You could see that aspect because I'm guessing she's around him at that time, maybe every day. She could actually absolutely grow to love this person where, hey, this isn't just a money grab for me. But who knows? I don't know neither one of them. But yes, somebody can grow on you where now that's your person. It happens. Even me. I'm a dork, a nerd. I was ugly as hell in high school. Now since I'm a hottie, but no, I could definitely see myself getting curved and then growing on someone. It happens. It's life. People grow up, and one thing about other groups, because she looks like she is another, pretty much outside of the black race or culture. One thing about them, they don't always date for looks. And I'm not saying Mr. Hunter is an ugly dude, but some of them groups don't always date for looks. Okay. And again, not again, but when you think about it, most people with a star at the bottom of the page, most people equals women, they date for certain reasons. Probably the first one, what can he do for me? Or what can she do for me? You know? And I'm going to use myself as an example. Like me, I can't cook. I can't cook like my sister Samantha, my brother Corby, my mother, even my boy Reese, even Mark, probably even Gerard, my other brother. I can't cook that well. If you want eggs and bacon, French toast, noodles, anything I can put in the oven or the microwave. Hit me up. I'm your guy. I even got an apron. But if you want a real meal, the meal when you walk in the house and you're like, God damn, what's that smell? I had to get a wife for that. I had to. I had to. If not, I'll be fat. I'll be eating microwavable dinners, TV dinners. My kids will be fat with acne all over their face because of just terrible diet. So that was one thing I had to do for my future to be successful in my future because I wasn't gonna be successful if I had to worry about work and bills and schools and kids and what I'm gonna eat and cook every day. I'll be a mess. But shout out to Travis Hunter. Travis, if that's what you want to do, you got your girl, bro. Do what you gotta do. Once you know everything that's going on, and then make a decision. Don't be flying off the cuffs because people believe that your girl is this or that, or even your man is this or that. Not speaking about Travis. You got to make informed decisions in life. So shout out Travis. Shout out to the young lady. I don't even know her name. I don't really have an opinion on if the brother should leave her or stay with her. Enjoy yourself, man. If you want to trick off his money, let him trick off his money. But anyways, bro. Hey, shout out. Let me hit my tea again because I'm doing a whole bunch of talking. Shout out to my barber T Rex. T Rex been cutting my hair since 2005 when I went to college. But man, I was getting my hair cut 3-4 days ago. Man, I'm in the chair getting my hair cut, man, and for whatever reason, and I know my fellas can attest to this. When you get in that chair, man, it's something about that calm, quiet, warm or cold, whatever opposite of the weather outside is inside of the house. The buzzing of the clippers, the spinning around in that chair, it just knocks me out every time. I'm gonna go to sleep. My bad, T Rex, because I like talking to my boy T Rex when he cut my hair because he always come in with interesting point of views. A God fear man, so I like talking to my man T Rex. Whenever I get to go over there and chill, just take a break from raising kids, working, just sit in that chair and relax with somebody I trust. Obviously, I'm falling asleep, and somebody got clippers, razors at my head. So real just chill and relaxed over there. And I fell asleep. And while I'm sleeping, when you sleep and you have sleep. You have sleep. So I'm asleep, but I'm knowing like I'm not in a position where I can really put some Z's in the air. So I'm half asleep. And I started to think about my youngest son. He'll be 1 December 29th. Happy birthday to my boy Ray. Ray, what's happening? I love you. And I'm sleeping. I'm half asleep. And man, I went to thinking that my son was falling off the bed, and I jumped up. I jumped up to catch little Ray, and oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed, man. And Rex, he initially said, what was so funny, he initially said, is the hair like irritating you? I'm like, hell no. I thought my son was falling off the bed, and I tried to catch him. This mug goes look at me and say, did you catch him? So that shit was hilarious, man. Shout out to T-Rex, man. I got to get Rex on the podcast. He got some great point of views. He's a Christian, very serious Christian. And I'd love to have him on him just to chop up gang with him. Somebody I appreciate. So shout out Rex, man. Moving along to Andrew Schultz. Now, Andrew is somebody, and Andrew is a comedian. Andrew is somebody that one day I'm living at my mama house, and I'm a bike rider. And I mean pedals, handlebars, that type of bike. Always nice bikes. I got a mongoose. Let me not make this a bike episode. That's a good episode. Let me write that down. But anyways, on a bike, and I'm that guy. I never had iTunes. I will always go through YouTube to listen to all my music. So I had to continuously change every song to the next song while I'm riding my bike lifted. And obviously that's annoying. Every 3 fucking minutes I gotta stop my riding out there in Ben Hill, Niski Lake, Campbellton Road, Bunch, all that. I gotta stop to change the song. So I said, and this is 2015. I don't know if I said it. I said I gotta find something to listen to. So I discovered this show, this podcast called Brilliant Idiots. And that's where I first heard of Andrew. Now, he's a comedian. He always, a white fella as well. He's a comedian that always push the line with what he said. Gay jokes. And he does a show with Charlamagne the God, but gay jokes. They actually have a segment. I don't know the last time. I don't think they did in these last 3 episodes. But it's called Dick Talk. So, and that's me saying that it's just to let you guys know how they would push the line on the conversation they had. Sorry, I was hitting the T. So obviously, Andrew, I know y'all are all aware. Andrew made a statement about how he would make love to Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick only his only options would not be able to stop it, but only give consent or not. So now Andrew, he's getting death threats. They saying they're gonna hurt his kids. And this all started from Kendrick saying, don't let comedians talk about black women. Understandable, but when it comes to freedom of speech, we all enjoy it. That's obviously one of the benefits of living in America. Okay? But to Andrew, is one thing as being a comedian, then it's also the aspect of how people are going to respond to you and what you say, especially once they feel offended. And this is not anything new to Andrew. Obviously, he knows that if he's out walking in public and somebody says, aren't you that comedian Andrew Schultz? And he smiles and say, oh, yeah, that's me. And he punch him in the face. Or somebody could say, aren't you that comedian Andrew Schultz? Yeah, that's me. And they shake his hand and say, I love what you said about Kendrick. So that is one aspect about comedians that I never really liked, is they think just because they're a comedian or they're attempting to make somebody laugh based on things they're saying, it's almost as if they believe they have a hall pass to be offensive. That's an aspect I never really appreciated about comedians, because most jokes, because I think I'm a comedian, but most jokes come from a real place about how you feel. Now, am I saying that Andrew really wants to rape a man and be successful at it based on height and physicality? I don't know. Am I saying that's something not Kendrick, but Andrew thought about before? I don't know. But you do got to be prepared for consequences. But you got to watch it. So, I mean, not but so watch what you say. Especially people that's highly respected and, well loved by millions. Because you could recognize Kendrick and say, oh shit, Kendrick's coming down the hall. He's walking pretty deliberate right at me. His fist is balled up. Let me go the other way. He's about to whoop my ass. But the fan that doesn't look like that, looks unassuming, you don't know what they're going to do. So, shout out to Andrew. I still listen to the Brilliant Idiots. I just watched 50 Cent on, what's the name of the other podcast Andrew does? But shout out Andrew, man. Just watch some of the bullshit you say sometimes. Because people will take matters into their own hands, like that healthcare shooter, Luigi Maggioni. Speaking of shooting, I was doing research. I was reading rather. Did y'all know in 2024, up to December 16th, 4 days ago, it has been 83 school shootings in America. 83. Now 27 of those school shootings have been on college campuses, and 56, even more startling, have been on K through 12 school grounds. Now, that came up to a total of 38 people dead and over 115 people injured. Three of those shootings actually happened in the beautiful state of Georgia this year, with 4 people being killed and more than 15 people injured. And my next thing I did was to look up the 3 schools that shootings took place in. All high schools. One of them out in Appalachia High School. I think 4 people died there. That's where the 4 people came from that died at Appalachia High School. McEachern High School. I know a few people at Savannah State from McEachern. Shout out y'all. And Mays High School. Benjamin Elijah Mays High School. Now, the reason I let Mays stand out a little bit more than the other, respectfully, is because of the proximity. I lived about on foot, depending on how fast you can walk, maybe 15 minutes away from Mays High School. Now, I had just got into jogging, so I was jogging probably 3 times a week, maybe twice, or maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And I would run right past Mays High School every time I would jog, those 2 to 3 times a week. And this is running past it going and running past it coming back home. So, and that shooting at Mays happened outside in the parking lot. So if I'm running by, or if I even, because I've ran on their I ran on their track before, I could have been a victim. I could have been, grazed, or I could have said, hey, because I run with a gun, I could have said, hey, let me go over there and do something, you know? So who knows? But man, the school shootings, we gotta find some type of conclusion to rally this school shooting and rally and really bring it to it. And we can't stop it 100%, but something has to be done. Because as a parent, you say, okay, my child might get. You factor in, okay, my child might get bullied. My child might get into a fight. My child might even get jumped. My child might even join a gang. But now, not even now, but 10, 15 years ago, you had to start factoring in, damn, my child might get shot at school for trying to get an education, to hopefully go to college if they choose to, or pick up a trade and be prepared for life. My child might either get shot, get killed, or be in a school where he or she remembers a school shooting. Like, think about that. And it's not even where you can say, well, he's 17, he's 18, he could defend himself. But they're going, it's 50, remember, 56 school shooting happened K through 12. So now even elementary kids, the real sitting ducks, the real, like, they're helpless. A 7-year-old can do nothing for somebody, even if the person runs out a bullet. A 7-year-old can do nothing. So, and also, it's not always the students that's bringing these weapons to school and shooting up schools. Sometimes it's actually professors. It's the staff. if you think back to Portillo, what was his first name? The professor from North Carolina. He also taught in Georgia. But the UNLV school shooter, what was his name? I cannot think of his name. Anthony Patillo worked at a school. Was a professor. Killed three people at UNLV. 67 years old. He wanted to work in UNLV at that college, but he was denied four times. And I guess he just snapped. Now he had delusions of grandeur and things like that, but that goes to show it's not just always the students you have to have to watch out for. And the crazy thing about this school shooting with Anthony Patillo, not that it's just 3 miles down the road from the Las Vegas hotel shooting that happened at the concert with that guy just shooting out of that hotel onto the grounds of where hundreds of probably thousands of people were enjoying a concert. But the real crazy aspect of the UNLV shooting by Anthony Patillo is the cops never had a description of him until later on doing like the search for the school shooter to try to stop him. They actually told the shooter Anthony Patillo to leave the building because it's an active shooter on the loose. They actually told him. It's body camera footage I saw on YouTube. Hey, get out of here. I know that cop looked at that footage like, what in the hell? He would then go outside, draw his weapon, and begin to shoot, and will be killed by officers on scene. Three people died. Others were injured. He killed staff members, two Asian, two Asians and two Asians professors, and one, I believe, Hispanic professor was killed. So I don't know if he was out to hurt people from different ethnicities and backgrounds, or if those were just the professors that meant something to him in a negative way, according to him, that he wanted to hurt. Now, he did have a list of people that he wanted to kill. He actually sent out powder to somebody through mail, obviously making that person assume that, okay, this is some type of chemical. It was tested by police and found that it was of a non-toxic powder. So thank God it wasn't like anthrax, because he was big into anthrax. He researched about anthrax. He researched about that same concert shooting. So those were his starting points, probably, because as you see, he went on to send a white powdery substance through the mail, and then he went on to do a school shooting. Well, he went on to become an active shooter. So obviously those two events inspired him. Thank God he's no longer with us and to put out any more harm. Man, you think about being in that position, because sometimes when I'm jogging and I'm running, or I got my gun on me, and I'm thinking, damn, how do people jog or ride their bike without a gun? How do people have no guns in their homes? Or they go to church without a weapon? I think about that. Um, it's just not realistic. It's literally not safe this day and age to not have a weapon. Is the average person out to be an active shooter? No. Is the average person out to rob you at gunpoint? No. And another thing, y'all people with these guns, the legal carriers, the people that's illegally carrying, the people that's looking to commit crimes with guns, I'm not talking to your dumb ass, but the legal carriers, listen, y'all gotta stop carrying those guns and they're showing. It makes you a target, because if y'all all got the story, I'm sure somebody told y'all, if you walk in here with your gun showing and somebody finna rob the place, they're gonna shoot you first. Yeah, it might be true. But it changes the whole mood. of the establishment you're in. Now, if you're in your house walking around with a gun, then knock yourself out. But once you go out in public and the business you're in is okay with you carrying a gun, even showing it, and by showing it I mean just it's showing from your waist. But once you walk in there, you change the atmosphere. Okay, it don't matter if you're a cop and you just so happen to be off duty, and that's how you're used to wearing your gun. It doesn't matter if you're saying, "Hey, I got my Second Amendments. I got a right to carry." Blah blah blah. Everybody's looking at you like the criminal because of the destruction a gun carries. You look like a criminal. You automatically look like a criminal. And for example, just to give that same point of view, not same point of view, but just to back up that argument of you looking like a criminal because you got that gun. Think about when you see a construction worker and they have that knife on their pocket. You don't automatically go, that guy is a criminal and has a deadly weapon on him. Let me watch out for him. I seen some of those guys at work and I'm like, hey man, can I get an estimate? So that's the reality of it. Do you have the right to carry a gun? Heck yeah. You got your Second Amendment right. Knock yourself out. But that led me to do more research. So in 2020, the National Shooting Sports Foundation released that it's a total of 500 million guns in the United States. They also said that they averaged out, this might have been a different research I'm looking at, but that averaged out to 120.5 guns per 100 people. That's enough gun for each 100 of those people to get a gun. And then you make 20 groups of 5, and every group gets a gun, to randomly shoot it or just look at it and, do whatever they want to do with it while they're in those groups. That also led me doing more research. The 2 states with the most guns, you're probably not going to be surprised. Number 1 was Texas. Number 2, Florida. So Texas and Florida, I don't know how many guns per person or whatever, but whatever they're doing, I can't remember the last time I heard of a school shooting in Texas. I'll have to go research. I should have researched that. That should have been my next thing that I did. But Florida, I know Florida had a few that I could remember. So I don't know what we're going to do about the school shooting epidemic. There is no such thing as gun control. We can try to fix mental illness. A lot of people say smaller magazines that hold less rounds. But none of that is actually, fuck it. None of that is real. Gun control is not real. Mental illness, fixing that's not real. Everybody's not taking their medication. If you're homeless, you don't have a car, you're just walking around aimlessly, you're not going to a hospital until you're in jail. And they give you some medication, you get straight for a while, or you don't get straight for a while, and you're released and you're back to being homeless. We just have to be able to spot that broken person, and we got to build on them from there. Now, do I want gun control to work? Obviously. But I think we just have to be nicer to each other. We can't just treat people with disrespect and expect great outcomes for society. We don't want those 83 school shootings to turn into 93, then 103, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people say, man, why didn't he just kill himself? Why didn't she just kill herself? Because I believe the last school shooter that just happened this month, within a week or last week was a female, and she ended up killing herself. But those people, like Anthony, who shot up UNLV, that professor, he had delusions of grandeur. He thought he was bigger than what he really was. A lot of those people, they want to be known. They want to leave their mark on society. They want to be remembered like most people do. Not necessarily for shooting and killing, but everybody, when they die, they want somebody to say, "Hey, you remember, Johnny?" Hell yeah. So I don't have the answers. I don't know if we'll ever have the answers. It's just a coin toss up in the air. Um, if anybody listening to this ever been affected by violence, get help if you have to. Talk to somebody, because it's a saying, hurt people hurt people. Not that somebody's that been affected by a school shooting is going to go out and inflict the same trauma that they went through, or possibly still going through, but you never know. Talk to somebody if you have to. Seek help. Do like I do. I jog. I ride my bike. I do listen to podcasts to just for reasons to find tools that I can use to help my mental on a daily basis, because I have little people walking around here, 5 of them to be exact, that I influence. I say things, I do certain things, and I don't want them to say, I'll pick up that from daddy, and it'll be one of the negative aspects. So that's what it's really about, you know? So, with that being said, this is episode number 13 of the Campbellton Project. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, you want to hit me up, you want to support, hit me up. Facebook, Jay Jaydave. That's 2 words. Instagram, Big Twin 8712 G's in that big. I believe that is also my TikTok. Let me look real quick. Hit me up if you want to support the show. Show love. JDB871 on Cash App. If you ain't got no money you want to advertise. Okay, on my TikTok is Big Twin. Oh yeah, it is Big Twin with 2 G's. 1 G disappeared. Yeah, Big Twin 871. Hit me up, man. And you know, hit me up, and we can get you on here, man. Especially if you got something interesting to say. So that's been episode number 13. I hope y'all have a great day. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Stop saying that next year is gonna be your year. Just actually start working towards this shit. It's been 20 years. Yeah, still got the same New Year resolution. I want to stop drinking. But last time I had a drink. Don't worry about it. But shout out to everybody. Y'all take care of each other. Drive safe. Have safe trips. Shout out to y'all. And I'm out. Peace.